In today's video, I'm gonna teach you the one line that you can recite to anyone when starting small talk that's gonna have them eating out of the palm of your hand. No, I'm not, but you know what I'm gonna tell you? A line I used 3 minutes ago when coming up from my elevator so you can see what you need to do to engage people in small talk. I put a video out a few weeks ago called The Compounding Value of Small Talk. I'll put a link right here if you haven't seen that. Go back and watch that. It's gonna be a good prep for this. But I want you to hear what I say, and I want you to think in your head, wow, Barron's a social coach, and that's all he said? I can do that. I can probably do better than that. I want you to realize that. These are the things I use in my own life. Everything you learn on my channel are things that I use. There's nothing, I learned this strategy online and it sounds great. These are things I use every single day. If you run into me in the street, you'll probably pick up on a few things that I've used that I've taught you. That's awesome, right? I put the money where the mouth is. Now, if you haven't gotten the social invincibility checklist, it's free. It's right here. This is gonna teach you one small thing about small talk. The social invincibility checklist is gonna get you a nice broad paint stroke of how to improve socially. You can go to charismamatrix.com/SI checklist and download yours there. All right, so what I'm doing, I'm going out to the elevator. I got my trash with me, right? My big trash can filled up. And I go into the trash chute, dump my trash in there. And there's like all kinds of junk going on in there. There's all kinds of like bags of trash and pizza like normal. But this time there was like a full wedding cake that didn't even look like it had been cut into. It was like 3 layers high and it was like leaking onto the trash for some reason onto the ground. In this apartment complex, people have something where they just feel entitled to not even put their bags down the trash chute. So they just open it and throw it in there. It's pretty ridiculous. But anyway, so I walk out of the trash chute, having thrown mine down the chute, and I see a girl who lives on my floor that I've never met before, right? So we get in the elevator together. What do I say? What am I gonna say? What's the genius line? I'm so nervous. Why is she gonna like me? What can I say that's so funny and so quick? All I said was, man, the trash chute's a mess today. Okay, is that hard? No, I'm talking about something that just happened. What else could have I said? Man, I opened up my window this morning, it's cold out there today. Anything at all, but how do you think I said it? I didn't say, man, the trash area is dirty. No, I said it confidently like it was a great line. Man, that trash chute's a mess today, right? A good delivery, because what I'm saying doesn't matter, right? I'm sure you've heard people say all the time, the words you say don't matter. I'm saying it confidently, okay? So what she said back, I don't even remember what she said back. She's like, yeah, she's like, it's bizarre how people just stack their bags of trash in that whole thing, right? I was just going down 2 floors and it was over and the conversation was over. Fine, not genius. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you tell someone what happened the last 5 minutes of your life? That's a reference. If you have nothing to say, what did you do in the last 5 minutes? Well, I went to the trash chute. Well, I opened my window and got some fresh air. 2 things that I could comment on and comment on confidently, okay? Now, one other thing that I want to point out, that sounds very easy and that's good. That's the crux of this video. I want you to understand you can say anything as long as it's delivered confidently, and the next time I see her, maybe tonight, maybe in a week, maybe in a month, there's gonna be way more familiarity. There's gonna be that rapport. It's gonna be easier to actually build a friendship off of that, or just get to know somebody a little bit better. But a mistake I don't want you to make is what might I have been tempted to do in that instance? I actually was. I had actually a lot of really good things to say, because that wedding cake that was still in there, that was melting on there. It's like a 3-layer wedding cake. That's pretty interesting. That's a lot more interesting than the trash chute's dirty. But if you don't know someone, how would have that sounded? How do you think that would have sounded if I said to her, man, I was in there, the trash room was absolutely crazy. There's like a wedding cake in there. It's too much. It's way too much coming at her. She's just trying to size you up. She's trying to feel your energy. And I say she because it was a she, but if it was a he, it'd be the exact same thing. Don't bombard people with a bunch of complicated stuff, because they're gonna wonder, why is he telling me this, right? People understand small talk is there to break the ice and to start a conversation. But if you start spewing all these different things, man, I was walking down the hallway and I walked in the trash chute, there was a melting wedding cake in there. What's going on? She's gonna be like, oh yeah. Super aggressive, right? There's too much going on. So rest assured that not only do you not need some fancy thing to say, but sometimes dumbing it down, I knew I only had 2 floors, I didn't have a long time to talk, I never talked to her before, is even better. So now take that stress out of your mind of having to come up with something to say and realize sometimes the seemingly dumber, more basic stuff is actually better than the stuff that you think may be better because it needs some great story. It doesn't need a story. She doesn't care about the wedding cake either, right? She wants to see what you're all about with that first line. So dumb it down. Don't ever go too far by saying more and more things. The less, the better. And if she wants to engage, and let's say we were walking out to our cars together, well, then you can continue the conversation. And if she's like, yeah, she's like, it's crazy. Let's talk about what you might want to say at that point. She says, yeah, it's crazy. People just throw the bags in there. Now we're still walking. I'm not getting off. I'm saying, yeah, I've seen some really wild stuff in there before, but today it may have taken the cake. I probably shouldn't say that's pretty ridiculous, but this one is the worst ever. There was a melting wedding cake coming down, melting all over the tile floor. Have you seen anything like that? That's appropriate because you have buy-in from her, right? She's responded to you. But if I would have started, that's way too much for one line. You got to give her a chance to respond back and to ping and to get comfortable with you. So that's a very basic thing mixed with a very advanced thing. But how important do you think this is? Almost every single person that you're going to meet, maybe you're going to date, maybe you're going to have a relationship with, maybe you're going to work with, maybe you're going to do business with, it's going to start with a small talk line unless you're introduced by a good friend, which oftentimes is a small talk line. Hey, this is Barron. He's a social coach, just moved to Newport Beach. Okay. Well, that's going to help. But then I'm going to say, hey, cool, man. What kind of work do you do? It's going to be small talk. So you need to understand this. People who hate small talk, too bad. You got to do it if you want to meet people. There's no special, you can moonwalk in and turn your head and then you could just bypass small talk. I'm above small talk. I think it's a waste. I think it's a waste of my time. I'm not going to sink to it. Cool, man. Have fun. You're not going to meet people. People aren't going to like you. You got to accept the reality. Don't push back against it just because you don't like it. All right, that's my sermon on the mount for that. By the way, you seen this video? If you haven't seen this one, you got to watch this one next. I'll talk to you over there.
Hey, it's Barron. Welcome to the Charisma Matrix. Listen, I don't care if you were born with no charisma or feel like you're awkward socially because it doesn't matter. Here on this channel, I'm going to teach you all the advanced social skills that you need to get what you want out of life.